So you click this video because you want to find out how to find your macros. Here's an exact step-by-step guide on how to do that. We're gonna get straight into it. When we look at finding our calories and macros, it's very simple. There's just 4 different things that we have to do. The first thing that we have to do is we have to find our maintenance calories. This is important because if you're in a surplus or you're in a deficit, first you want to find your maintenance calories. That way you know which way to go, right? So how do we find our maintenance calories? What you're gonna do is you're gonna do your body weight in pounds multiplied by 15, okay? If you're a little bit more of an active person, you work in construction, right? I would multiply this by 17. If you're a little bit more of a sedentary person, you sit down all day long in an office, I would multiply it by 13, okay? Very, very simple. From there, what we wanna do is body weight in pounds multiplied by 15. So let's say, hypothetically, you watching this right now, you're 200 pounds. So you're gonna do 200 pounds times 15, you're just an average person, is gonna give you 3,000 calories. So this is gonna be your maintenance calories. And depending on your goal, you're gonna be adjusting this. So if you wanna build muscle and you wanna get stronger, right, you need to be in a surplus. So you'll add extra 200 calories, so this will now become 3,200 calories. If you're in a calorie deficit, you wanna lose some weight, you wanna lose some body fat, I would subtract 300 calories. So this is gonna put you at 2,700 calories. Very simple. For this example, we're just using 3,000 calories, okay? So now you have your calorie maintenance, and then from there, you're gonna have either your surplus or your deficit, depending on whatever your goal is. First thing we wanna do is we wanna find out our protein. The reason we wanna find out our protein intake, in my opinion, I think this is by far the most important macronutrient, whether your goal is to build muscle or decrease your weight or your body fat. So how are we gonna do this? We're gonna do your protein is 1 gram of protein is equal to 4 calories. This is important to know because once you wrap all this up, you're gonna understand why, okay? So 1 gram of protein is 4 calories, so just keep this in mind. Ideally, what I recommend is having anywhere from 0.8 to 1.2 grams of protein per body weight, okay? Personally, for me, I like to just do 1 gram. It keeps it very simple. It's very easy. But if you wanna have a higher protein diet, have 1.2 grams. If you wanna have a lower protein diet, have 0.8. It's all up to you. For this example, I did 1 gram right over here. So you're gonna do your body weight in pounds. So 200, same thing here. 200 pounds times 1 gram is gonna equal 200 grams of protein, okay? Very simple. You might be wondering, if I'm 350 pounds or I'm 280 pounds, how much protein should I have? Honestly, I wouldn't recommend for the average person to go above 200 grams of protein. 200 grams of protein every single day is a lot, right? So if you're 280, you don't need to have 1 gram of protein per body weight. I would say the max, the all-time max that you wanna hit is 200 grams of protein, okay? So now that we have our protein in grams, we wanna understand how many calories that's gonna be. So I'm gonna go back to this. So we're gonna have 200 grams of protein. Each gram of protein is 4 calories. So 200 grams times 4 is gonna give us 800 calories. Very, very simple. I did this because this is how much grams of protein we need to consume. 1 gram of protein per body weight. And 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. And you're gonna understand why this number here is so important later on when we get to the carbs. That's how you're gonna get your protein. Very simple, very straight to the point. The third thing we wanna do is we wanna understand how many fats we need to consume on a day-to-day basis. So 1 gram of fat is equal to 9 calories. So your fat is actually the most calorically dense macronutrient. It's actually more than double. So here you can see this is 4, this is actually 9, so a bit more than double. So for this, a good benchmark is you wanna have 0.3 to 0.5 grams of fat per body weight, okay? Per pound of body weight. So if you're someone that's 200 pounds, like the same example here, right? You're gonna do 200 pounds times 0.4 grams. It's gonna give you 80 grams of fat. For this number, I like doing 0.4 in between, but if you're someone that wants a higher fat diet, go for 0.5. If you want a lower fat diet, go for 0.3. Very simple. So body weight times 0.4 is gonna give you 80 grams of fat. From there, now that we have the gram amount, right? We wanna do 80 grams of protein times 9 calories. Why do we want to do 9 calories? Because 1 gram of fat is equal to 9 calories. 80 times 9 gives you 720 calories. Very simple, very easy to understand. Same exact idea for this, but just a different number, okay? And that's gonna be your fat. Last but not least, we have our carbs, okay? I would say this is extremely important. right? Because if you're in the gym and you want to build muscle, you want to prioritize the majority of your calories around carbs. And you know, if you're losing weight or you're losing body fat, if your carb intake is extremely low, you're not going to feel the best. So with carbs, it's the same thing as protein, okay? 1 gram of carb is equal to 4 calories. Just the same thing here. With this, you want to do the remaining calories are all carbs. So what do I mean by remaining calories? We're going to do our total calories right over here. So our total calories are over here, 3,000, or it's going to be 3,200 or 2,700, whatever your goal is. So for this, it's going to be 3,000. So 3,000 is the calories. And we're going to do minus our protein calories. So 800 right here. And we're going to do minus our fat calories. So 720 right here and 720 right there. Okay. Once again, total calories, right? So it's 3,000 up here, your maintenance calories. I should have wrote that. Minus your protein calories, 800, minus your fat calories, which is 720 right there. And that's gonna give you a total of 1,480 calories. So 1,480 calories is how much calories you're gonna have worth of carbs in your diet. But you might be wondering, how many grams is that? I don't know. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna do your carb calories right here, you're gonna do your carb calories divided by 4, because 1 gram of carb is equal to 4 calories. So that's gonna be 1,480 divided by 4 is gonna give you 370 grams of carbs. So this is your carbs, right? Oh, that's not the best rectangle. That's your carbs, how many grams you're gonna have. This is your fat, how many grams you're gonna have. And right over here is gonna be your protein. And that is how you're gonna get your macros depending on your goal, whether it's weight loss, fat loss, or building muscle and strength. A couple key notes, right? When you are in a weight loss phase, or you are trying to gain weight and build muscle, the only macronutrient I would recommend adjusting, right, is gonna be your carbs. For example, if you're losing weight and you hit a plateau, you haven't lost any weight for 2 to 3 weeks, the number that you wanna drop is gonna be your carbs. So for this, you could go from 370 to around, 320, okay? That's gonna give you a solid 200 calories more in a deficit, right? Also, same rule applies when you're in a bulk, right? Or you're trying to build muscle. Only macronutrient you wanna adjust is gonna be your carbs. So if you're not gaining weight at 370 grams of carbs, I would increase this to 420. You'll get in another surplus of 200. Very, very simple. The reason we wanna do this is because protein, we don't wanna adjust this because it's gonna help you build more muscle. And also when you're in a weight loss phase, it's gonna help you stay full, right? You don't wanna feel like you're starving constantly. And then fat, just for overall health. So this is always what I like to adjust. The rare case is gonna be when we're bulking. If you're someone that doesn't have a big appetite and you're not gaining weight, let's say you're 135 pounds, you're 125 pounds, right? You don't have a big appetite. In that scenario, I wouldn't increase your carbs. I would go with a little bit more of a higher fat diet. The reason we want to do this, like I mentioned before, is because 1 gram of fat is equal to 9 calories. So it's more calorically dense, right? So it's going to be a lot easier for you to get your calories, and it's going to be a lot easier for you to gain that weight. But that's the only time I would increase your fats, right? And also for that, I wouldn't go over, me personally, I wouldn't go over anything like 110, 120 grams of fat. That's a lot. But all in all, that's how you find your macros. So hope this helped. Hope it brought you some value. If it did, I was about to say double tap. The picture, but if this brought you some value, make sure you click the thumbs up button, drop a comment. That way I know you guys are enjoying this video, and I'm gonna be pumping one a day. But yeah, until next time guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow.